Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, I am Becca. I do arts and a lot of other things. So today I'm going to be talking about this image right here. It is my Valentine's Day special. I'm kind of not a Valentine's Day person, not because I don't like it, it's mostly just because I don't find that Valentine's Day just needs, like, you need to have a specific day just to show love to your loved one. You can simply just do it any day of the year. So I'm kind of not fond of that, mostly because of that. But this year I was feeling very romantic and I decided to go into a little dive and do a Valentine's Day special for you guys. Before we begin, please don't forget to like this video. Please don't forget to comment down below and tell me what else you guys would like to see me do. And also, don't forget to show your support if you really enjoy watching me by subscribing down below as well. And let's get into this video. Hey guys, so voiceover Becca is here right now, and I'm actually having a lot of fun with this because this is my first Valentine's Day illustration. I am not very fond of Valentine's Day for reasons of, like I said, I don't really think you need one day to literally have a Valentine's Day to be with your loved one. You could just do that like every single day. But either way, I actually really enjoyed this because I was feeling very, I don't know, lovely, or I was just feeling very happy this year, and I decided to do a Valentine's Day illustration, and it's like my first Valentine's Day illustration, and I'm actually pretty excited about it. So hopefully I will be doing more Valentine's Day illustrations for you guys. I think you saw in the beginning I had a little flat color on top, but it was just normally like my color thumbnail. I decided to swatch the colors before I went in to see like which colors I would like to choose, if I was actually going to stick with that, and to just make the process a bit faster for me. This illustration didn't take as much as I thought it would actually this time, because normally I take a while, especially when it's two characters, and for my first couples illustration I actually enjoyed this pretty much. So going into the colors and everything, I used to start with a shadow, like a very light shadow layer, just to direct me on where I wanted the shadows to be and everything. But I actually ended up deleting the shadow layer, and I actually just ended up making another shadow layer later on in the video, just making the parts I wanted to be a bit darker just stand out like a secondary shadow layer. And I've also added some bright colors just to show a little warmth, you know, just to play around with the colors, just to make it look like they're in a different environment, for the fact that I didn't really draw a background for this image. At least I didn't really draw a background for it, but I actually pretty much had a fun time doing this. As I said, I didn't really take that long with this one. Normally I take around 2 hours doing one character. Okay, maybe I did take a little while because I think it added up to like 6 hours. But for my defense, I was doing 2 characters, and his hair took a really long time to do, mostly for the fact that I wasn't very comfortable with doing curls on, like, digitally. I'm more comfortable doing curls when I am working on traditional paper. Like traditionally, I'll just spend like 3 hours just making curls, but digitally I wasn't really comfortable, and I tried to make his hair as fluffy as I could. And one thing I really did notice is that when the illustration just tells you to stop, there is a moment where it does tell you to stop when you just look at it, like, and you don't know what to do anymore. Or that's when you just stop. Just listen to it. It just tells you when you just look at it and it says please stop. That is when you know. You just stop. And that's technically what I did with this one. I actually wanted to do afterwards. I actually did want to go in and tweak it and do a whole bunch of things, but then I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna do anything because I actually enjoy what I did right now. And the only fact I wanted to go into it again was to try and fix his hair, but I stopped myself from doing that because I actually wanted to maintain the fact that I got through with it, and the more I tried to fix it, I could end up like ruining what I already had done. So I actually maintained it the way it was, and I actually, now that I go back and I look back at it, I actually enjoyed this very much. So it was actually a fun way of doing my illustration, and I really enjoyed it. So I actually did know where the light source was coming from. It's just that I have this thing with hair that I just love it shiny. It doesn't matter if it's in the dark, it has to have this little glow, and I just enjoy coloring hair so much. At first I wasn't really enjoying doing his hair because, like I said, I took like 6 hours to do this entire piece, and I think an hour and a half was only his hair. So I literally took my time doing his hair because it was curly, and I'm not really used to actually doing like curls, and on like digitally I prefer to do it literally. I literally prefer doing it traditionally, but it was actually a fun experience because I got to see where I was going wrong and what I could get better at. So I actually enjoyed it a bit. I actually enjoyed that not even a bit. I actually enjoyed it a lot because now I know what I have to and what I don't have to do when I actually go in and actually draw curls, color it in, position wise. So it's technically just an experience to get, like, the more you do it, the more you get better at it. So, practice makes improvement. So that's my lemma now. So here's a little fun fact for you guys. Drawing midtones, as in skin tone, but mid-tone wise, not my strong point. It's fun, I get to learn, but not really my strong point. I'm actually used to drawing either really dark skin or really light skin, and mid-tones, I don't know, it's mostly because you have to put a little bit of both in it, so you kind of get a little bit confused. But I actually realized that it's not really my strong point, but doing this illustration, I actually enjoy doing it. Mostly because of the fact that I was playing around with literally getting the shadows right and putting in the highlights. And the minute I started putting in the highlights and mixing it up a little and making a bit of like some of the shadow parts lighter, or just putting some simple details to it, I ended up realizing that it's actually really fun to just play around with things that you don't really know. And even though it's a skin tone that I'm not used to or don't really like coloring in, even when I do realistic work, it's not really something that I actually enjoy doing, because I don't know why. It's mostly it's like we get used to coloring one or two things and we know exactly what to do. So if you're used to coloring like dark tones, you know exactly what to do. If you're used to coloring like really pale skin, you know exactly what you need to do. And then when you move out of your comfort zone and you end up going into something a bit darker, or like you just go up a little bit the color scale, and get right into the middle of those tones, it can be very, how would I say, it can actually be very hard for you to figure out what you have to do, mostly because it's something you're not used to doing. So I actually did this unintentionally, and I actually enjoyed mixing up the tones simply because of that, because I got to play around with having mid-tones everywhere. So I actually really enjoyed this, learning where I had to put it, because her tone was a little had like yellow undertones in it, so I decided just to play around with a bit and put like a bit of red to give it a bit of life and not make it too plain. And one of the things that I loved about it, simply, especially when I started putting in highlights, but like a second light layer, was actually really fun. And when I mean a second light layer, I mean like a second highlight layer, which I did right at the end. It was fantastic. I just enjoyed just throwing in that yellow and just having that moment of, oh look, this is making this pop and this made this pop, and it gave the illustration, it took it out a bit of just a flat moment, and it just made it more alive. And that's technically what I wanted. I wanted it to be alive. I wanted you to feel, like the romance in the air. And oh, I wish you guys could see what my face right now, but yeah. I wish you guys, it's just like I wanted you guys to feel like the romance and how they were looking at each other. And I did I actually did that on purpose, like putting like the highlights on the outside of their bodies, simply to make it look like, oh, it's darker mid-range where they are. It's because like they're very close and there's light coming from either direction. So I actually enjoyed doing that. I actually really want to draw another one, so please tell me down below what I should draw next. And that would be actually interesting, like what kind of couples you guys want me to draw next. I'd actually really want to know. And one thing I've learned doing this digital illustration for you guys is that I am not moving the canvas as much as I normally do. That is why I normally don't do the sketches, because I move the canvas everywhere. Like literally the canvas just goes everywhere. So I didn't really want to do that because it can be a bit nauseating for some people, and I'm noticing that I can actually zoom in or turn the canvas less now due to practicing so much with you guys. So I'm actually very grateful for that. And yeah, here is the part where I really enjoy doing. Just literally going crazy, and I just love this. Just the whole putting the light sources everywhere just to give them more depth, just to give it more life and make the climate even more romantic. And I put little hearts, I put little sparkles in it, and I actually liked what I did. I'm sorry, I really say like I really, because this is like my second time. No, this is my first time I'm showing anyone I'm drawing a couple digitally, because I do have other couples that I have drawn, but for Valentine's Day wise, this is like the first couple I have ever drawn, or anything related to Valentine's Day that I have actually ever drawn. But this image was just simply, I just loved it. I loved the coloring, I loved everything I did here. It was just it's fun. And for anyone who might want to know, I actually created a stamp with the little logo I normally sign everything with on my illustrations. I made it into a brush, so it would make it 100% easier for me to do when I'm working with it on Photoshop, and I don't have to go like write it out every time. So if you guys would like a little tutorial on how to do that, tell me and I will make one for you guys and possibly put it up on like my Instagram or something. Tell me down below. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it for you guys. Please don't forget to like, comment down below, and subscribe to help the channel out. And also, I would love to see you guys next week for more content here on my channel. Have a great day, evening, night, whenever you're watching this. Bye guys!